Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of UFC Talk with the Degenerate Disseminators Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, and we do have our co host, Daniel, in the building with us today.
Hey guys.
So, got another event coming up this weekend, but before we even get into that, UFC Nashville was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I could only really
That was
catch
good.
it was good, but unfortunately, I can only really catch the Derek Lewis fight. I was actually at the bare knuckle event at the Hard Rock in Hollywood. Um, Before we get into that, I was surprised to see that Stephen Thompson actually got a split decision against Gabriel Bonfim. That was interesting. I didn't see that fight. Were you able to catch that, Daniel?
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a great fight, honestly. Stephen Thompson looks good, even though he's like 40. And he's kind of beating the shit out of this dude. Honestly, I thought that third round could have gone either way. Like, it was very close.
I
I think
know,
Stephen Thompson could
I
have easily
know,
won that fight.
I know. On the verdict scorecards, a lot of people had that fight going Stephen Thompson's way. But like I said, if he won that fight, like what happens to him? So
I mean, it's the same with Derek Lewis, and he won. So it's like,
yeah,
whatever.
Derek Lewis knocks the fuck out of Tyson Teixeira in like 30 seconds. That was wow.
What a fight.
A lot of
Love
controversy on the
seeing that. And then
stoppage.
had sex with his wife after.
Yes, he did say that. But a lot of controversy about the stoppage. I don't think it was that bad. Tyson grabbed the fence with both hands and got up. Like, if he got up on his own,
He like
and
dragged.
yeah, if he got up on his own, I could see the argument being made. But he literally grabs the fence with both hands and then starts fighting Jason Herzog. So I think it's fine. Derek Lewis hits pretty hard, and he ate a lot more shots on the ground. So what's next for Derek Lewis? I think the UFC should get this fight signed with him and Aspinall. Like, not even joking. What do you think?
That would be fucking that would be phenomenal. Honestly, I'd love to see. Honestly, I don't know if I'd like to see that because Derek Lewis is just gonna get knocked out in like 30 seconds.
But from a business
But
perspective, go ahead.
good idea. Yeah, I agree.
From business perspective, because right now Tom really only has two options. It's Jalton Almeida, and I really don't like that guy. Sorry. And you have Derek Lewis now coming off a win. Other than that, Tom's pretty much wiped out most of the division already, which is crazy to think. So
Did he fight Cyril Gane yet?
he did not fight Gon, but did he fight Gon? No, he didn't. There was something that I saw as to why that fight won't happen. I think. Oh yeah,
Fucking please.
because I think he
Sorry,
he
continue.
definitely lost that Volkov fight, and the judges gave it to him. So I think Dana's kind of just like pretending like you know he lost even though he didn't officially. But
True. I mean, they should give him the fight anyways. To be honest, like he's been number one or number two out there for a minute.
yeah, I wouldn't
Been
mind
a
seeing
sitting
that.
champion, on every champion, every heavyweight champion since Francis Ngannou. So
Yeah, but I'm sure
at
we'll
least I
hear
don't know.
a Tom Aspinall fight announcement soon. I know he wants to get in before the end of the year, so I'm sure we'll see something. But that's a ways away. But what's not a ways away, guys, is UFC 318 this Saturday. Dustin Poirier takes on Max Holloway to finish out their trilogy, which is really interesting that they're making a trilogy fight out of this, in my opinion, because Dustin Poirier is up 2-0 in the series here. Um, you know, uh,
If Holloway wins, what happens? Do they come back for a fourth?
yeah, we'll have to circle back to that. But as far as this card, I've been seeing a lot of mixed opinions on it. Even Daniel just said it kind of doesn't really feel like a pay per view. I don't think it's that bad. I think we've gotten worse. But
Oh, for sure.
it definitely could be better,
But still,
especially with
man.
like
I mean, this can
yeah, I think we could definitely see some more like number one contender fights in this on this card. Because besides the main event, it's a bunch of like lower ranked people like in the like 13th through 15th range. But I think it'll still be fun fights regardless. But first fight we're gonna take a look at is in the prelims. Robert Valentine versus Atiba Gautier. um, so I actually watched the season of The Ultimate Fighter that Robert Valentine was in. I thought he was really cool, really exciting. He got a great knockout in round one of that tournament there. But he lost the final of The Ultimate Fighter. It looked like he got injured in that fight. I don't recall off the top of my head if he actually did get injured, but it looked like something happened with his shoulder, a kind of freak accident kind of thing. He ended up losing. And then he gets a fight against Torres Finney, who basically had to beg on his hands and knees to Dana White to get a contract in the UFC. and then Robert Valentine goes out there and loses in a split decision. If I do recall that fight correctly, I do remember Valentine getting like pretty dominated. I mean, then he didn't really do much. He kind of just hugged him against the cage, but on the scorecards, I thought it was a unanimous decision victory. But yeah, Valentine's back is kind of against the wall here. He has to get a win. This is gonna be Gautier's second UFC appearance, third if you want to count the Contender Series. But he's 7-1, and he's knocked out 6 of his opponents, which is a little scary. And Valentine is a big middleweight. He very large frame for that weight class. But Gautier is actually bigger. He's 6'4", which is pretty large for middleweight. So I don't know. I don't know much about the Gautier guy, but I do want to see Robert Valentine get a win. Do you have any input on this fight? I know these are kind of more niche fighters.
I, no, not at all. But actually, off topic. Did you see who's fighting on the early prelims?
Let me look. Oh, Adam Fugit.
Adam Fugit.
I love Adam Fugit, bro. My goat. Yeah. Just sell all of your prized possessions and just put it on Adam Fugit. You won't be
Oh,
disappointed.
dude, Adam Fugit.
But yeah.
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah.
No. It was a great observation. Thank you, Daniel. I think everyone needs to know about Adam Fugit. But
No, I know you would have enjoyable. So.
um, two more interesting prelim matchups, which are honestly like these could have been on the main card. I don't know why they're not. We have Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. Where did I put their stats? Hold on. There we go. So both fighters are coming off the 2-fight losing streak. I will cut Brendan Allen some slack here because he's fought some of the best guys in the division, and Anthony Hernandez and Nasruddin Imavov, who is currently the number 1 contender. He also has a fight coming up against Borjalo, which I'm excited for, but I don't know. Marvin Vettori kind of just dipped for 2 years, and then came back against Roman Dolidze and just got absolutely touched for 5 rounds. Um, I don't know. I feel bad because he trains out of South Florida at American Top Team. I want to show love to the guy, right? But like, I don't know. I have not really been impressed in his last 2 performances. Brendan Allen looked like he was on the right track. He beat Bruno Silva, Paul Craig. They're not great, but he had some 2 submission wins and then a split decision victory over Chris Curtis. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't think either of these guys are kind of in the contender talks for the middleweight division. But I do think Brendan Allen gets it done. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I guess I'd have to agree. Marvin Vettori, after dipping for 2 years, like you said, is not uh, his old self, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
He also is older than Brendan Allen and just isn't as big as him, at least height and reach wise. So, like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Brendan Allen's a big
I
fella
think Brendan Allen,
for middleweight as well.
yeah, guy's 6'2". That's fucking crazy. I mean, Vittori's 6 foot, but it's like not much of a height advantage, but it's still, I mean, both of these guys are pretty big. I mean, I think it could end either way, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
But
unfortunately, I don't
I
really
would have to.
I'm not too invested in this. I don't care who's gonna win that much because I feel like if they face like anyone in the top 5, they're gonna lose. Um, but yeah, I mean, both are jiu-jitsu heavy fighters, so I kind of hope this is at least somewhat entertaining, which it might. These guys are
I
quite
mean,
big
it'll be a nice
personalities in this division.
match, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like whenever 2 strikers fight, sometimes or not whenever, like, but every now and then they just decide to wrestle, and then if you get 2 wrestler heavy people, they decide to stand up and strike. So maybe we'll see some goofiness with this one. But that's gonna take us into our featured prelim. Kyler Phillips versus I always fuck up his name. Vinicius Oliveira. Oh, I just closed everything. Hold on, guys.
Nice.
My bad. Um, 1 second. Okay, we're back. Pull this up. So yeah, both fighters are, they've had pretty decent runs at bantamweight. Kind of the same age. Kyler Phillips is 30. Oliveira is 30. Wait, no, I meant 29. I'm sorry. But I do think Oliveira is the hotter fighter here. This is his 4th UFC appearance, 5th if you want to count the Contender Series, but he's won all 4 fights. He had 2 back-to-back knockouts, and he has come off 2 unanimous decision victories in his most recent fights one against Ricky Simon and one against Said Nurmagomedov, which is actually a crazy fight. Oliveira was a huge underdog in this fight, and he pulled through and got the win over a Nurmagomedov, which was pretty big. Then you
Yeah.
got Kyler Phillips coming off a loss to Rob Font, man.
Fuck.
I do think just Oliveira
Look, the
is.
Matrix.
I do think Oliveira is just more of a complete fighter, like we saw in that Nurmagomedov fight, and although they are relatively the same age, he has much more fighting experience. He has 25 pro fights opposed to Kyler Phillips 15. Um, and yeah, I think although Kyler he has more UFC fights than him, I do think Oliveira has just been much more impressive, and I think we're going to see that again here.
I agree. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about these guys, man.
Fair enough.
Kyler the Matrix Phillips
Yes, the
has a slight
Matrix.
reach advantage. That's it. That's all I have. That's all I got, man.
All right, we're gonna jump into the main card now. We got Daniel Zellhuber versus Michael Johnson. Um, Michael Johnson's been around for way too long, man. I mean, he is coming off a knockout win in his last fight, which Daniel and I were actually at together at UFC Tampa, which is pretty cool
This
to
is
see,
true.
I guess. But Zellhuber's a
He's
brawler.
also 17. That's crazy. It's a lot of fights, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of brain damage.
Yeah. Zellhuber's a scrapper. He's tough. I don't think Michael Johnson's gonna have, he's gonna have to hit him with some even crazier stuff to knock him out. On Zellhuber's also really big. I think he's like 6'1" in lightweight, or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's 6'1", and he's got like a 5 inch, almost 3.5 inch reach advantage, which I guess is a lot
Yeah, I
compared
do
to a
think,
lot of the other fights.
as long as this doesn't end up like in a super tight brawl, like really up close and personal, I think Zellhuber can win. Just pick him apart for 3 rounds if you need to. But yeah, pretty easy win for him in my book. Um,
Dude, Zellhuber's also 13 years younger than Michael Johnson.
yeah,
The fuck?
yeah. I don't think this is gonna go well for Michael, but
No,
I
we're
guess we'll see.
not.
I wouldn't mind a Michael Johnson upset at all. Um, but next up we got Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I like Dan Ige.
Yo,
He's a
Dan.
he's a cool guy. Coming off a win, I
Yeah,
believe his last fight was against Sean Woodson. Let me just back check that really quick. Yes, Sean Woodson knocked him out.
he won too. Wait, no, what? Sean Woodson knocked him out? Oh,
No,
fuck.
no,
Yeah,
Dan
you're right.
Ige beat no,
Oh, no.
Dan Ige knocked
Okay,
out
never
Sean
mind.
Woodson.
Okay, I
Um,
was going to say.
but yeah, prior to that though, he did lose his last two fights. But we gotta remember those both were very short notice fights. He fought Diego Lopez on like hours notice, and actually made it a
Yeah, it
competitive
was like
fight.
3 hours.
And then he had a fight against
Yeah, he lasted.
Hmm?
Didn't that fight end in a decision against
Lopez.
Lopez?
Yeah, it was unanimous for Lopez,
That's
but
crazy.
I'm pretty sure Ige won a round. I don't
Yeah,
have the scorecards there, but
yeah. But
then
I
he,
mean, on a 3 hours notice, that's pretty impressive, man, against a top contender too.
yeah, and then that was in June of 2024, and then he fought again in October of 2024. I want to say that was short notice too, but I'm not 100%. Against Leroy Murphy, who was also a top contender in the featherweight division, which he also lost a decision. But I believe he scored a knockdown in that fight. I personally thought he won. I do remember watching this. I think you were there, Daniel. We were watching it in the booth of Twin Peaks. That was on the
Probably, dude. I don't
that was
remember if
Seporia
it was
versus
on.
Holloway card, man.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Um, I don't remember the fight you're talking about, but I do remember that night. That
Fair
was a
enough.
bad night.
Then he actually got a full camp in preparing for Sean Woodson, and he looked very good in that fight despite the big height and reach advantage that Sean Woodson had, and got the knockout. And Pitbull did have some moments in his UFC debut against Yair Rodriguez. I don't know. It's really hard to get behind these guys that are coming from other promotions into the UFC. And Rodriguez was hitting him with some crazy stuff. He had him hurt bad at a couple points. And I think this is a good setup for Dan Ige to go on a little 2-fight win streak here and maybe project himself into the top 10 of the 145 division.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. But then next up we have Kevin Holland, who fights every
Oh
other week.
man,
What feels like at this point against Daniel Rodriguez. Um, the thing
you're just feeding him some bugs at this point, man.
is Daniel
Not giving
Rodriguez.
up Kevin Hall. No.
Nah,
Kevin Holland, man.
he's good. Nah, I think he's got this. I like Daniel Rodriguez. You know, he's also a nice scrappy fighter. He's coming off a knockout win, if I'm not mistaken. But Kevin Holland has looked extremely locked in, coming back to welterweight. I know he did fight Rainier de Ritter. I think that was this year too, which is crazy. That feels like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a
Yes,
sick fight.
Rainier de Ritter kind of just gave up in the first round. But then he goes back to welterweight, puts a beat down on Gunnar Nelson, and then gets a submission win against Vicente Luque last month. he's fighting again this weekend. I do think Kevin Holland belongs at welterweight. Not gonna say he's gonna go on some title run, but he definitely can be, a contender in this division. And I do think this is a easy win for him against Daniel Rodriguez. I do forget what exactly his reach advantage is here. But, couple inches taller. He has some long ass arms.
7 inches?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 81 to 74. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think if he fights like he has been in his last 2 fights at welterweight, manages his distance well, should be an easy win against D-Rod here.
D-Rod, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree. I don't know. Clearly, I haven't watched enough UFC.
Fair enough. And then the co-main event, we have Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. I don't think Paulo Costa gives a fuck anymore. This fight was supposed to happen months ago, I feel like, but he pulled out, and then it's got rescheduled to this card. But yeah, I think Kopylov wins. I was really disappointed in Costa's last fight against Sean Strickland. He didn't do shit, like, at all. Like, neither did Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland still somehow beat him up for 5 rounds. I don't know. He's plus 200, which, yeah, he should be like a plus 500 in my opinion. I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't have much left. Doesn't seem motivated. And all right. I heard myself talking back in like robot voice. That was weird.
Yeah, dude, it's been doing that this whole time. Just at random points. My computer just like shit.
Hell yeah.
It's not your fault.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, once again, I don't really like Paulo Costa. He's a funny guy, but I think Kopylov takes this one. But jumping in the main event here, which is what we're all here for, guys. You know what? Daniel did say he doesn't understand how this is a pay-per-view, and in my head, like I thought it was fine, but like as I've talked about these fights, I was like I went robot again. But yeah, as I've gone through these fights, I was like, damn, maybe Daniel had a point. But Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. I don't know. Max Holloway is somehow a favorite here.
It's not, I disagree. What the fuck, dude?
What?
I disagree with the BMF title, man. I think it sucks.
It's hard for me. Like, I liked it initially, and then Max was the BMF when he fought Ilya.
I think it's a good like meme, but like but you're building a whole like pay-per-view event off of a title that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah,
like, where's the baddest motherfucker? Anybody in the UFC should have it. Ilya should have it.
Ilya, no, that's what I was gonna say.
Breaks off.
Ilya support. It was a contractual error.
Pretty stupid, honestly.
Yeah, Ilya Taporia should be holding the BMF belt right now.
Max Holloway just didn't want.
Dude, your computer's like about to blow up. But yeah, Ilya Taporia should be the BMF. No hate to Max, I love Max, one of my favorite fighters ever.
Yeah, no, like no disrespect to any of these guys, but it's like the BMF is fucking stupid. Like,
yeah,
it's dumb.
And a couple trends to note here. No one's successfully ever defended the BMF belt. So if that trend continues, right, and Dustin Poirier wins, we're just setting up another stupid main event for a BMF title because he's just gonna have to vacate it.
Oh, either that or he walks away with it forever and it's gone and the UFC is saved. Dustin Poirier can save the UFC.
Like I said, I did like the concept of it, but it's just been handled so poorly since its introduction. But
It's so bad.
fact of the
Terrible.
matter is, guys, it's on the line here. Um, Max Holloway's ranked number 5 in the division. Dustin Poirier's at number 6. But when you actually look at it, Islam is still ranked number 1 at lightweight for whatever reason. So really, it's more like the number 4 versus the number 5. But what are your early thoughts on this matchup, Daniel?
Um, I don't know. I like both of these guys. I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. Like they both just like beating the shit out of each other. So obviously, Dustin has beat up Max Holloway twice, and I don't know. They're still making him the underdog, which is kind of insane. I feel like Dustin is just gonna like they're just gonna beat each other up, and then they're gonna give Dustin the win because it's his last fight, and that's it. Unless
I
Dustin just gets knocked the fuck out, and who knows?
I do like the fact you brought up Max Holloway being the favorite here. Um, I'm not trying to hate on his fight with Justin Gaethje. That's like an instant Hall of Fame fight. It was awesome, but I think they're putting way too much weight on that fight. I feel like there's just
Yeah,
like pseudo narrative that like Max Holloway's a knockout artist. He has knockouts, but it's more so like TKOs. Like he kind of just overwhelms people. The only two times he's ever
yeah,
knocked out someone cold, like one punch, has been Justin Gaethje, obviously, and the Korean Zombie. But both of those fights, like I don't know, like there were so many things that had to
it
go
took a
right.
while.
Yeah, so many things had to go right for Max in order to do those things. Maybe not so much the Korean Zombie fight, but against Justin Gaethje, if he didn't break his nose in the first round and have him, he was mouth breathing the whole fight, his chin's just hanging there, and he, gets him into like this big brawl in the middle of the octagon. He's not knocking Justin Gaethje out. I'm sorry. Like so many things had to go right. That wasn't like a pre-calculated like strike combo. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
the odds makers are putting way too much weight on that, and I don't know. I think Poirier just has way too much of a power advantage. I do know the second fight, Dustin Poirier did really beat him down. But I know Max Holloway was kind of struggling to, make 155 like kind of like the right way, do it healthy. He looked a little, he had some fluff on him. I do think he is going to look a lot better physically, probably fight a little better than he did in that second matchup. But Max Holloway is just such a volume fighter. I think if Dustin can just crack him early, just get him rocked and on the ropes, I do think we're going to see the same thing. Max Holloway's not going to be able to find his rhythm whatsoever, and not really, kind of just pour on the volume like he has in his, a lot of his other fights. Would you agree with that?
yeah, I would. I mean, yeah. Also, I mean, coming off of a KO loss from Ilya Taporia doesn't help Max's cause either.
Yeah, I mean, it,
But
it has been some time since that fight, but it also, it does raise the question, like,
it always affects, like, every fighter. You could say he's taken enough time off, but it affects guys, man.
yeah,
Like Volk, you see getting chinned by Diego Lopez, whereas before his two knockout spree, he would probably have not been rocked at all from
yeah,
that. Like, it's always going to affect the fighter getting destroyed like that. And for Max Holloway, in his case, like he's been getting destroyed his whole career, and now that Ilya's actually done it, I think you know it's entirely possible that Poirier or somebody else could do it. Because it, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say Poirier has the same power as Ilya, but I think they're very close. You
yeah.
know?
Dustin definitely hits hard, and we've seen it with these two guys already. Yes, it was a few years ago, but like, we know what Dustin's capable of. Even in the
Yeah.
Islam fight, he was hitting him with some crazy shit. Like that wasn't too long ago. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I have to. If you can get Poirier like plus 110, that's a steal in my opinion. I think on Hard Rock this morning he was plus 110. I haven't had the chance to check, but I don't know. I'm also a little worried on the port. Like I feel like we're kind of been shitting on Max this whole time, but it is Dustin's retirement fight, and he's fighting in his hometown in New Orleans, Louisiana. Um, I'm a little worried the lights might get a little too bright for him, and we've seen this especially in he's had 3 title shots and hasn't been able to get it done. Do you think that'll play any effect into it, or do you think he's got
Oh,
it?
for sure. I mean,
I mean,
I
Lil
don't
Wayne's
know.
walking him out.
True. I mean, it might. I don't. I don't know if it's like really affected him that much before because I feel like all of his title fights have been against just phenomenal fighters,
Yeah.
like actual like Dustin's had bad luck in the sense that every time he goes for a title fight, it's like a
Like literally like, top
generational
10
fighter.
fighter of all time, like that has the belt.
Yeah, it's like I mean. Dustin's great. He's a great fighter, but he's not generational. You know, he's not as good as these guys that he's been fighting for the last few years for the belt at least.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the lights affecting him or the pressure getting to him. I just think that in those title fights and in those fights that are, you know, the lights are too bright or whatever, he's just fighting like
Yeah.
really good people.
Yeah. I mean, Max is
So
also, you know,
yeah,
Max is really good, but you know, he's now officially moving to lightweight, you know, like full time, I guess. So I don't know. A lot of questions to be answered, but I do think Poirier is just too
it'll
strong,
be a
too
great
big.
fight. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna be awesome. I just hope it doesn't, like, I want to see like at least 3 rounds of this fight. I don't want it to end super quick. But like we said,
I agree.
Max's chin got cracked, so we don't know. But yeah, gonna be an entertaining card. Not really gonna set up much for the future, like at all. Especially, you know, if Dustin wins, he's just sending Max Holloway back down a couple spots, and he's like, all right, later, guys. But
Yeah, pretty much. And he's
Poirier,
taking the BMF with him. I really hope he does it though, to be honest. Get rid of the BMF,
and then
man. It's
Daniel
just
Cormier, or
stupid.
no, was it Daniel Cormier or Chael? I think it was Daniel Cormier. He was like, yeah, I want Jorge Masvidal to put the belt on the winner. I'm like, why are we talking about Masvidal in the big 2025, bro? Like,
The guy's so washed. He's not even a part of the UFC.
all right, Daniel's computer froze again. Oh, is Daniel back?
Yeah, I'm
But yeah,
back.
no,
Yeah.
he's been retired. Um,
What
you
the
see
fuck does he have to do with the BMF though? Like,
you
oh,
see
I
the
guess he
Conor
got it
McGregor
at one
leaks?
point. I did not. I've been avoiding those. I heard about what happened. His D is on the internet now
Yeah,
because he sent it to Azalea Banks, right?
yeah. And then I
Some
also,
some shit.
I guess Dana said today that he's like back in the testing pool, and I'm like, bro, make it stop.
He's fallen off so hard. He's going to go back to the UFC, get chinned by Michael Chandler of all people, and then fucking retire again
Honestly, I
for the
think
next
if Connor
5
comes
years.
back and Michael Chandler knocks him out, because like that's really the only match that makes sense in my eyes. Like he's been calling for that fight for what, like 5 years at this point.
Yeah, McGregor's been out of the game for so fucking long. Like, who is he gonna fight other than the one guy who's been calling him out for the last 5 years?
Yeah, but yeah, I think if Michael Chandler puts away Connor, if they fight, I really don't think it's gonna happen, and I honestly I'm not buying into this whole testing pool bullshit, especially considering all the shit that Connor's been doing. There's no way that man is not on drugs. But if Chandler knocks him out, I wouldn't be surprised if Chandler was like he just turns to dust after like he was just put on this earth to fight Conor McGregor, and then that's it. Just
He just disappears.
it,
He
literally,
fulfilled his
like
purpose.
literally, he just goes wiped from our brains, bro. But anything else
That would be
goofy
awesome.
I want to talk about?
I'd love to forget about Michael Chandler.
Wouldn't we all? I can't wait to
Oh
talk
my
about him one of
god.
these days on an episode of this. We're gonna some very strong words about
God,
Michael Chandler.
he's such a funny guy. He looks like, he looks like one of the Trent twins, bro. He's like the Trent triplet. Like,
Are they just like a
just a
little meatball,
small, like,
bro? Like it's just
yeah, dude. Just a fucking, he's jacked, bro. Don't get me wrong, but he's just so like, he looks like a meatball, man. He's got so
yeah.
much muscle on him.
But I'm ready to send things off, Daniel. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any rapid fire questions for Jordan? You know, anything I could give a hot take on?
What are your thoughts on Adam Fuggett?
Adam Fuggett. Oh my, wait, hold on. Speaking of Adam Fuggett, hold on. And his last, if I think it was him. It was literally like it was like, oh no, it wasn't him. There was some fight. It was literally like it was like Fuggett versus Duguid or something. I thought it was him, but yeah. But yeah,
That's fucking
yeah.
awesome.
I think he's gonna get it done. You know, he's coming off a win.
He is coming off a win, and he's up against Islam Dulatov. I mean,
All right.
I don't know,
Okay,
man.
Islam kind of looks scary.
What
I'm not
about
gonna
Adam
lie.
Fuggett? What?
Islam Dulatov is actually kind of scary.
True. All right. Well,
Let me look at his ESPN profile. Oh, he's a big fella. 6'3" for welterweight. 11 wins.
fuck, for real.
He's finished all 11 of his opponents.
What the
No,
fuck?
Adam Fuggett's gonna lose. No. Fuck, bro. Oh, that's so sad. But
Oh, I also forgot. Speaking of Dustin Poirier, my friend met him the other day.
oh yes, Evan did meet Dustin Poirier.
So
Actually, yeah.
shout out to
You
Evan.
know, fuck Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier lives down here. Fucking put the house on
Dude,
Dustin.
dude, oh my god, I forgot about the fucking Dustin Poirier burger. Oh, dude.
Did you get it?
Dude, oh my what?
Did you
No,
get the
I
Dustin?
haven't. I wanna get it.
All
Is it
right.
like a limited edition thing, or is that gonna be on the menu for a while, you think?
What if watch him get knocked the fuck out and Charm City is like, nah, we're taking the Dustin Poirier burger off
Make the
the menu.
Max Holloway burger instead.
The Blessed Burger. Oh
Oh
god.
my god. Shout out to Charm City, by the way. Great burger
Yeah,
spot.
if you guys live in South Florida, definitely check out Charm City. And if Charm City are listening to this, you could put like a big. I'll take the mirror down, just put a big banner right there. It'd be awesome. But
Big banner, it says Charm City on the top, Dustin Poirier burger on
the
the
DP
bottom.
burger. But all right, guys. That's gonna do it for us tonight. Only official play I'm giving is Dustin Poirier money line. If you can get at even money or better, I'm gonna throw 1 unit on that. Maybe even 2. Football season's coming up. I gotta build up the bankroll. But yeah, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights this weekend, and we will catch you again for the recap and a preview of Whitaker versus the Ritter. See you later, guys.